Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Africa. Good morning, world. I welcome you today to Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. This is a new day, a beautiful morning, a new chance at life, a new opportunity, to make do of whatever you want it for. Femi Ojo is my name, and you are tuned to Western Spring Television on Channel 190, the award-winning WSTV, Channel 190 on StarTimes DTT, and also on our various, social media accounts on YouTube, on Facebook, and other social media platforms at Western Spring Television. And then this is Morning Spring. This is what we do here, 7 a.m. every weekday, looking into very critical issues of the society, speaking, socioeconomic issues, everything that is worth talking about, from defense to the economy to education, even to sport, everything here handed over to you on a platter in which you are always part of the program Morning Spring. Again, Femi Ojo is here. Femi Tokwe is there. Good morning.
Good morning, Femi. It's a beautiful morning. Thank you. I'm fine. It's a beautiful morning, dear viewer. Thank you for joining us today. It is the first installment for the week, Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. My name is Temitope Ajijolaoluola.
Right. It's been 3 weeks of, excitement on the continent. Actually, beautiful moment of football played. Very interesting, crazy goals scored in this competition. Moment of bravery, heroics from the goalkeepers, tending to their goal, preventing shots from coming into defenders, defending through it, whatever they know, examples of which is our own Calvin Bassey. That guy was super, super good. To the midfielders who orchestrate things between the defense and the attack, and the attackers themselves. And of course, yesterday was the finale between the Teranga Lions of Senegal and the Atlas Lions, 2 lions, actually, and the Teranga carried the day. The Senegal, in fact, at some point, it was the whole of Africa against Morocco, because it was a crazy, crazy game, actually.
Lots of roaring.
Very crazy games, controversial moment. It almost turned ugly when Senegal threatened to walk out of that competition, and that is one of the things you don't want to see in a finale of an AFCON. A team threatening to walk out because of a particular decision of the referee. But then, I'm not sure we have all of those times this morning. But then, Teranga Lions are the champions of Africa. 1-0 it ended with a Papi Gueye match shot. Everything went wild at that point. But give it to Morocco. They were worthy opponents.
All right, so congratulations are in order to Senegal, to Morocco, and to Nigeria as well. We wish you all the best in
earlier on Saturday. The Eagles of Nigeria, managed to fly. They didn't soar.
We fly.
They flew. Eagles usually soar, but then they flew against the Pharaohs of Egypt, and it was ended on penalty shootout with I Chief Nwabali stopping 2 kicks from Pharaoh, and it was the Pharaohs rather to give Nigeria. So we are the third. Senegal the first in that competition, second being the host to Morocco, and of course Eagles. But then it is what it is. On to the next one. Actually, life keeps moving, and that is what we should do. All of us should keep moving as well. And this program this morning, we look at critical. In fact, that sport part, we are still going to have it again. But then the newspaper segment is now. Stay with us. All right, the newspaper segment is where we reel out headlines from our major dailies every day for the front page for you to have a hang of what the various dailies look like. And we start that exactly today from the front page of the Daily Sun. The Daily Sun. IMF gives a recipe for job losses in Nigeria. International Monetary Fund gives a recipe for job losses in Nigeria. Insists workers must acquire additional skills, need education reforms, innovation. IMF gives recipe for job losses in Nigeria, with the writer there screaming, insists workers must acquire additional skills and need education reforms and innovation. And just below that, bottom strip rather, CBN, export gains drive $50.67 billion inflow in 1 year. Central Bank of Nigeria, export gains drive $50.67 billion inflow in 1 year. And wanted drug kingpin Kama arrested 12 years after killing 3 NDLEA officers. Wanted drug kingpin Kama arrested 12 years after killing 3 NDLEA officers. But unfortunately, the NDLEA were not able to get him. Kama. It took 3 years. Kama is maza in a Hausa language, and it means, hurry up, let's get to it. But then, as they say, the lies can only travel so far. At some point, the truth will catch up. All right. ADC demands clarification on US-Nigeria health MOU. ADC demands clarification on US-Nigeria health MOU. And some will say it's possibly the season of signing MOU with countries. It was first France with the digitalization of the tax, and many persons are worried. Just tell us the terms and conditions, And, when government, I've always said it here, you remember, talk about that, when government leads a narrative, you shut down any fake news, any misinformation, Don't make it look like we have done what we have done. Don't worry about the rest. Let the people know, let them read. And so it is when you inform them properly, it is when they can easily go to possibly, I don't know which ministry, possibly the Ministry of Health website, and you see the MOU there. Everybody can read. Now, if there's anybody that is trying to misinform or twist the news, other informed persons will say, no, that's not what happened. But what we are hearing is just MOU. What does it contain? We don't know, because we've seen MOUs that have been signed in this country and it landed us in trouble. You remember the PI and D case that almost got Nigeria grounded? These are some of the issues. Well, it is what it is. Police nabbed 3 suspects over alleged murder of woman. 8 others in Kano. Police nabbed 3 suspects over alleged murder of woman. 8 others in Kano. And top strip, MBET to spend 598.5 billion naira on power reform program. MBET to spend 598.5 billion naira on power reform program. And that will be all from the front page of the Daily Sun for today.
Well, so much for the Daily Sun. No reportage whatsoever on the AFCON outcome.
You'll see that at the back page.
Let's see. Let's check out the Punch newspaper. The Punch says, petrol war. Importers outpace Dangote with 62% supply in 2025. And the rider, federal government report shows high-stakes struggle for Nigeria's petrol market as 15% fuel import duty looms. Importers outpace Dangote with 62% supply in 2025. All right, so the top strip, just beside the nameplate, you can see APC rules out automatic tickets for defecting governors. APC rules out automatic tickets for defecting governors. All right, federal government allocates below 1% of 2026 budget to fight poverty. Federal government allocates below 1% of 2026 budget to fight poverty. Quite interesting. Below 1% to fight poverty in a country of over 250 million people. Quite very, very interesting. All right, beside that, we see this cash rush. ATM withdrawals jump 198% to 36 trillion naira. I bet people, are probably running from transfers or all of those things. You're having withdrawals. People are back to the ATM. Right. So right here, 30 billion naira relief or your cries politics as Makinde faces EFCC petition. That's on page 9 of the Punch newspapers. And we can see the big picture there. Drama as Senegal beats Morocco to claim African title. And right there, you can see jubilation right there. So the lower strip of the paper, INC protests over Fubara impeachment plot. INC protests over Fubara impeachment plot. Matari struck as multiple collisions grounds Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Matari stuck as multiple collisions grounds Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. 2027, my re-election unstoppable for T. tells Oji Kalu. And those headlines right there on the front page of the Punch newspapers this morning.
All right, from the Punch, we go to the Nigerian trip. By the way, you talked about the Sun not having anything on the AFCON.
On the face
Punch,
of the page.
Yeah, the Punch has it now. And yeah, there you go. Punch made. Point made already. I don't need to say anything. Nigerian Tribune, 2027 presidency. Debate over religious balance on Tinubu's ticket hots up. 2027 presidency. Debate over religious balance on Tinubu's ticket hots up. With riders here, northern leaders rule out Bishop Kuka. Say he is politically exposed. X-ray General Musa and Yitwada. X-ray General Musa and Yitwada. You know, when I saw some of these projections at the weekend, General Musa is the defense minister,
yeah.
right? And former former defense chief, yeah. And then his lordship, Bishop Hassan Matthew Kuka, I was talking to Diocese, and you're wondering, really, you know, not because he can't, possibly others that have emerged, even in other positions, might not be as brilliant as and as patriotic as he is, just like any other person. But then it is what it is. So this is giving a feeling of maybe the APC might not be considering the Muslim ticket again, just maybe. And for all I know in politics, it might just be another distraction. Actually, it might just be because politicians know what they do. But then the game is dynamic. It keeps
earlier
evolving.
before now, remember there was that stuff about Tinubu and Shettima having a fallout and
replacing Shettima.
And yes, and then the talks of wanting to replace Shettima came out at the time. And now, if we're having it again, that it hots up, meaning that it has been there, but you know, the fire was increased.
Well, the days are
it's boiling
closer.
now.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens. But you can definitely tell from precedents in Nigeria, once something begins to become a topic, that you most likely have elements of truth coming from that particular direction.
Just
but
like
then,
you said,
talking about the choices of these people now, General Musa and Yewata, he was just given another portfolio. Why not let him function there? And now you're having to pull him out to put someone else. Okay, so immediately, let's say it flies. You remove him, it becomes a running mate. And then you look for who? A person you couldn't have looked for earlier. Then you feel that, yes, you can now broaden the search and eventually find someone for that place. We're not very serious.
Politicians will do what they do, and that's politics.
And we are saying that we're also saying what we'll say as citizens, that you might want to consider long-term before taking up some decisions. Putting people there, removing them. In this administration, it has really become a menace. Just having people here and removing, having them just
like I said earlier, these are your projections. And you might get to see at the end of the day, it might not be anything.
Just like the tax laws and this. We'll see if they are projections. All right,
tax law is a law, actually. This one, tax laws are law, statutory. You know, until it's reviewed or
we were talking. I've said it that we'll begin to see in the coming days if those tax laws, you know, are what people say, or is what the government is saying it is, and what other people who have been coming up with different other reports or concerns about it is what it is, and just like this as well, we'll see in the coming days. like they say in Yoruba. I don't want to go into that, but in the coming days will determine what we've been saying. Yeah.
And it happens, politics, ever dynamic, actually. And these are some of the issues. We talk about some of those things this morning, although with another angle. And you have a picture of Mr. President, flanked by the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Alhaji Adegboyega Itola, former governor of Osun State, the chairman board of directors of Abu Dhabi Port Group, His Excellency Mohammed Hassan, and other persons there. I think this was while the president was in Abu Dhabi. And he's back now. All right, so moving on. Multi-million-dollar investment, jobs threatened as low activity hits petroleum depots, and anxiety in INEC over Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2025. Commission may miss election notice timeline over delay by NAS. Anxiety in INEC over Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2025. With that right there, Commission may miss election notice timeline over delay by NAS, page 22. And on the health scene, foods with preservatives increase risk of type 2 diabetes by 47%. Study. Foods with preservatives increase a risk of type 2 diabetes by a whopping 47%. That's from a study. Let's watch it. An NDLA arrests wanted drug kingpin 12 years after murder of 3 officers. And gunmen abduct Ondo APC chieftain, kill police officer, abduct expatriate in Oyo. Gunmen abduct Ondo APC chieftain, kill police officer, abduct expatriate in Ondo. And top strip, NAF, that's the Air Force airstrike, kills over 40 terrorists in Borno. Nigerian Air Force NAF airstrike kills over 40 terrorists in Borno.
Talk about making gains.
Let's keep pounding them, actually, and let's sustain it, actually. Not just pocket of some of these things, and then they regroup to strike us again now. An alleged UK property fraud. Alleged UK property fraud. ICPC files charges against Zekome. 7.5% VAT. Customers want CBN to caution banks over exploitation. 7.5% VAT. Customers want CBN to caution banks over exploitation. All right, and that brought big headline we took earlier. Still there. 2027 president, the debate over religious balance on Tinubu's ticket. Thoughts. How interesting to even say it's Tinubu's ticket. By the way, from the APC, it is his ticket. By the way, let's just say it as it is. That's it. All right. We take a quick break right now. Yeah, want to say something?
I was just trying to say that the concern about multiple taxation, might be what is put here as the 7.5% VAT. Customers wanting CBN to caution banks over exploitation. I mean, well, we'll broaden the conversation in the coming day. When we begin to see what we make of the tax laws and the implementation, we'll see.
Trust us to be in the matter. We'll take a break right now. We'll be right back. Stay with us. It's Morning Spring on Western Spring Television.